Before anything else, before we go any further into the story, I need you to know one thing about Chinedu Okeke. The boy could run. Not a metaphor, not a figure of speech. 400 meters in 47.3 seconds. His secondary school coach, a retired army man who had never praised a student in 20 years of coaching, watched the stopwatch, looked up, and said quietly, "You run like you are trying to leave something behind." He was. He just had not yet decided what. He came to Lagos at 19, son of a seamstress in Aba, second-hand bag, a cousin's phone number in Mushin, and the kind of confidence that only exists before the city has properly introduced itself to you. He found his way into the fraud work through a man called Casey. Casey was one of Big Eve's boys, not someone Big Eve knew personally, just part of the structure. Chinedu stayed at work, stayed quiet, stayed fast. 2 years in, Big Eve noticed him. By then, Chinedu had a son, Ikechukwu, in Ahada, a little boy, small enough to leave a toy car in the kitchen floor without meaning to. Chinedu sent money home every month. Not once did the rent arrive late. That is the man before everything went wrong. Hold him there. We are going to need him again at the end. Now, here is what you need to understand about Ifeanyi Mbakwe, also known as Big Eve. By 2022, the man had moved, not out of the game, up in it. A logistic company in Apapa that didn't ask too many questions. A bureau de change in Ikeja that processed money of uncertain origin with remarkable calm. Properties in Lagos, Abuja, and Dubai, all registered to names that only existed on paper. And then Big Eve decided he wanted to run for governor of Lagos State. Not as the candidate. The man was too smart for that. He put a younger man forward, a former commissioner who was presentable, controllable, and expensive. Big Eve didn't want his name on a billboard. He wanted the room after the election, the room where real decisions are made. To get that room, he needed someone fast, someone quiet, someone who understood that the first rule of survival is knowing what questions not to ask. He sent for Chinedu. He was warm, easy to be with. He said he had been watching Chinedu for some time. Said that there was serious money in this, more than anything in the regular work. He said the only requirement was speed, silence, and sense. Chinedu thought about Ikechukwu. He said yes, this is where the road started narrowing. He just didn't feel it yet. The first assignment was clear. Move a briefcase from Victoria Island to Surulere. Ring once, hand it over, leave. He was back in the car in 48 minutes and had an envelope on return heavier than any single month of work had ever given him. He didn't ask what was in the briefcase. That's not how this works. By the time you have moved 3 briefcases, you know what you are. By the 4th, you have already decided you can live with it. By the 7th, you have stopped counting. Then came October, a campaign rally in Agege. A man named Yemi Adeleye was scheduled to speak on behalf of the opposition. A young organizer from Ogba, the kind of man who holds the microphone too close because his urgency hasn't learned to pace itself yet. Chinedu went to that rally with 2 other men, not as supporters. What happened at that rally looked less than 4 minutes. 3 men, Yemi Adeleye, spent 9 days in the hospital. Chinedu threw the first blow because he was the fastest. His body had always known how to be fast, trained for it and built for it, but it had never prepared for this. On the way back to the car, he threw up in a gutter. One of the men laughed. Chinedu went home, called Adanna, didn't say a word about Agege, just asked her to describe his son to him, what the boy had said that day, what he had eaten, whether he was sleeping well. He held the phone to his ears long after she had finished talking. just to hear Kenechukwu's voice on the background. 3 years old, afraid of nothing, making the sounds of a child who doesn't yet know that the world will one day ask something of him. He held on for as long as he could. 3 weeks after Agege, Big Eve sent a car at 5 in the morning. Badagry Road, west, past the point where Lagos remembers to be a city. A dirty road, a compound hidden between old neem trees, a faded red gate, swept red earth. Big Eve was already inside. An old man in white was waiting in a room with no windows. He looked at Chinedu for a long time before saying a word. Not the way you look at a stranger, but the way you look at someone whose ending you have already read. He spoke for a long time in Yoruba. Chinedu's Yoruba was enough to understand the shape, if not every word, the binding, the terms. The terms were 3. Do not remove it. Do not speak of what you have seen. Not to a friend, not to a lover, not to your mother, to no one, in no form, for any reason. The oath runs in both directions. Your silence keeps you. Your silence keeps your blood. He said it once. He said it a second time. He said it a third. Some things need to be said 3 times before they finish entering the body. The bead was placed in Chinedu's palm at the end. Red coral, small, warm, not just from the room, but warm the way a hand is after being held for a long time. He put it around his neck in the car on the way back. Didn't speak on the drive. And here is what I need you to hear. Walking back to that car through the red earth, the cord settling against his collarbone, Chinedu felt calm for the first time since Agege, since the gutter, the laughter, and the 9 days in hospital. Like being bound was a relief. He didn't understand then what that feeling was. That feeling was a door closing behind him. The 14th of January 2023, a warehouse at the edge of Iyanoba, Balogun drove. He called it the campaign's final logistics. Chinedu had learned to translate that phrase. He had been translating it for months. 4 men were already inside. The exchange happened fast. 2 bags changed hands. 1 stayed. Then a 5th man walked in through a side door. Late, phone to his ear, not looking at the room, until he looked at the room. Chinedu recognized him in 3 seconds. The man recognized Chinedu in 1. I won't give you his name. He was from Aba. He had known Chinedu's family for years. He had been at the motor park the day Chinedu left for Lagos and had pressed 200 naira into the boy's hand and said, "Work hard, son. Make your mother proud." Now he was standing in a warehouse in Iyanoba, looking at what Chinedu had become. The room went completely still, the kind of still that you feel in your chest. Then Balogun said something. The man from Aba closed his phone, turned, walked back out the side door. The room exhaled. "Forget what you saw," Balogun said in the car. "I didn't see anything," Chinedu said. But he was already running the calculation. He knew exactly what the man would do. You cannot carry a thing like that without it moving. And it would move towards the one person from home this man still knew in Lagos, Chinedu's mother, Ajebunle. He stopped at the petrol station at midnight and called Adanna, asked her to keep Ikechukwu inside for a few days. She asked why. He said, "Just for now." She said his name the way she said it when there is no word left. He said, "I know." 3 days later, his mother called. 2 words only. "Come home." She was 52 years old. She had been selling bole on the same Ajegunle corner for 11 years. She had been praying for Chinedu since the morning he left for Lagos. She had the kind of eyes that saw what needed to be seen long before anyone explained it. He sat in her parlor, beneath his own graduation photo, mortarboard, gown, the big smile, and she stood in the kitchen doorway with a cloth in her hands that she had forgotten she was holding. She said, "Emeka is a soyun." Flat, no drama, just the facts, placed on the table between them like evidence. He said nothing. She said, "Take that thing off your neck." He said, "Mama." She said, "I know what it is. Take it off." Chinedu looked at her. He thought about the old man in white, about the third time he had said the words, "Your silence keeps your blood." And then, slowly, in peace, sideways, the way you confess to a mother, he told her, not everything. Enough, he named what Emeka Eze had seen. He named what he was inside. He spoke of what he had seen, and with each word he felt the room turn colder. The second vow broke with the first. They were the same vow. Do not speak of what you have seen to no one in no form. He had spoken. His mother went back to the kitchen without a word. He left at 5. He called from the danfo. She didn't answer. He left 6 voice notes over the following weeks, each one shorter than the last. The final voice note, sent to Adanna from a bus station in Benin City at 11 at night, 37 seconds long, was where the third vow broke. He said, "I'm getting out. I know how to do it. Give me 2 weeks. I'm going to run. Do not remove it," he had announced on a voice note to another person that he planned to remove it. 3 vows, 3 cracks. The oath had heard everything. He was found on a Sunday morning, cardiac arrest, 22 years old, cause undetermined. He had been athletic. He did not drink. He had been wearing the bead for 6 months. When Big Eve called Ikenna to say Chinedu was gone, he was warm as always. "These things happens at work. The boy's mother is in Ajegunle. Can you go?" Ikenna went. He has told me what he understood when he heard the words cardiac arrest, cause undetermined. He had worn a bead himself, a different one, same kind of thing, same kind of weight. He had lived through removing it, and he truly knew, that when a 22-year-old athlete dies of cardiac arrest on a Sunday morning with an undetermined cause and a ritual bead on his neck, the cause is not undetermined, not to someone who knows what they are looking at. Chinedu had broken the vows. The oath had taken what it was owed. Ikenna walked into the Ajegunle parlor and set the envelope on the table. He looked at the graduation photograph. He looked at the toy car on the floor. He looked at Chinedu's mother. Black wrapper, 3 days without speaking. The stillness of a woman who has gone somewhere inside herself where none of this can reach her. He stood to leave. He raised his hand towards her shoulder and stopped. 3 centimeters from her shoulder, he stopped. He held the hand there. Then he withdrew it. He has said it was the most honest thing he did in those years, because the hand that was about to touch her shoulder was carrying everything he had chosen not to say, not to ask, not to know. Big Eve's money was in that envelope. The same operation that had put the bead on her son's neck had also sent Ikenna to her door. He withdrew his hand and walked out. She died 24 days later, stroke. Not one word had she spoken. She had arranged before she went that the second envelope Ikenna sent would be returned unopened. She refused to let their money touch her silence. It came back sealed. Ikenna put it in a drawer. He went to Bariga 3 days later with the bead and a USB drive, and he began the long walk of undoing. Ikechukwu Okeke is 6 years old. He lives in Ahoda with his grandmother. He cannot yet remember his father's face, not in the way that hurts. That will come later. But the people who knew him says that when he runs across the compound in the afternoon, something in the way he moves looks like someone else. He runs like his father, fast, efficient, like he is trying to leave something behind. Here is what this story is really about. Chinedu Okeke did not die because of a bid. The bid was just the last room in a house that had been built around him. One door at a time. First, Casey, then Big Eve, then the politician's operation, then Badagry. Every step made sense in the moment. Every door looked like an opportunity, and every door locked behind him. The wrong company never announces itself. It comes warm. It comes with answers. It appeals to your hunger, and every young man in Lagos is hungry for something. The wrong company knows exactly which hunger to feed. By the time Chinedu understood the full picture, he was already 3 broken vows into an oath that ran in both directions. He tried to run at the end. He had always been able to run, but you cannot run back through doors you have already walked through. Onye gbara ọsọ enweghị oge laghachi. The one who ran did not have enough time to return. For every young person still standing at the door, the siding, the company you keep is the covering you walk under. Choose carefully.